Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Today, this post is about nurses and career progression. As you know, most of us came here in the early 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, where there was a mass exodus of nurses from various places, various countries across the world. Most of them have settled in the UK. Some of them now have permanent settlement. So today I'm going to talk about career progression. It is expected that after having worked at a certain place, either a care home or the NHS, for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you are now a senior nurse and you should be treated as such. But how do you progress from band 5 to band 6? So this video is about some tips on how you can make it into a band 6 position. So you'll see that most times we cry and say there is white privilege or these leadership posts are for white people. But I beg to differ. Yes, in some careers, maybe other spaces, yes, some of the positions might be reserved for white people. But I'll talk about my own career, my own profession as a nurse. Band 6 posts, band 7 posts, band 8 posts are accessible to everybody, especially in the NHS where they promote equality and diversity. So even if you are black, even if you're African, you still stand a chance to be a band 6. So you will see the reason why some of us do not land these roles is because we shy away. Why? Because English is not our first language. 2, in our culture, you're not supposed to be too forward or to be too leading on, like rushing, trying to be seen. You should be reserved, you should take the back seat, you should let your work do the talking. But that's not the role, that's not how you get a band 6 post. As for us, I'll talk of Zimbabwean nurses. We are more hands-on. We were trained to be hands-on. Most of us are more of apprenticeship trained nurses because we were trained on the job. Your ability to be a nurse is not in the paperwork. It's on how you deliver patient care. How many cannulas, how efficient are you in inserting cannulas? How efficient are you in inserting male and female urinary catheters? How efficient are you? How competent are you in inserting NG tubes? How competent are you in wound dressings, drug administration, syringe drivers, and all those things? So we were taught competency, hands-on competency. So you will find me in the curtains, all curtains drawn, busy inserting cannulas on patients without talking to anybody, without even teaching anybody, because you were taught to do the work. You were taught not to talk too much. Only use your hands and not your mouth. But the difference with band 6 is more of an interactive role, more of an administrative role, more of a management post. It is a management post, a band 6 post. I'll talk about my personal experience. I first started working at a hospital in Bournemouth. I was a senior nurse with over 10 years experience. Started, was it in November, December? Then there was this young nurse who came straight from university. She was 22. She didn't even know the mode of action of paracetamol, of which I knew everything. The pharmacokinetics, the pharmacodynamics, everything, the half-life for paracetamol, everything. Pharmacological composition, everything, mode of action, everything. Not just paracetamol, but every other drug. If I may not, I would not, or maybe I cannot know all the exact names, but all the basic drug groups and classes, I knew them. They were all at my fingertips. I knew. Nursing diagnosis, nursing interventions, pathophysiology, anatomy, everything was like on my fingertips. I knew. Then came this young girl. She's 22. She's straight from college. Do you know what she'll do? In the morning, she'll just assign herself, because she doesn't know how to put cannulas or to do wound dressings or anything. She just assigns herself. She takes the rota. Esther, you are doing own dressings. You are doing this. You are doing bay 3. You are nursing this. You are doing this. You are doing discharges. You are doing this. And then she just lazes around. She'll be answering the phone. She'll be set on the computer, doing discharge summaries, doing admissions, set on the computer, following up on what you guys are doing. She'll be following up. Has bed 23 been washed? Has bed 27 eaten? Has bed 25? Have you checked the results for bed 25? Have you done this? Has the doctor seen bed 15? Have you? And the relatives, when they come in, she'll be the first one to go and greet them by the door. She sees relatives, like she goes to speak to them, to stand by the bedside. She'll spend the whole shift walking about, talking to relatives. Hey, imagine. And I bet you, every time there would be like, those online trainings where you can book for yourself. She would book those trainings. I've got a training. And I bet you, within 1 year, she was band 6. Me, with all my 10 years experience and all my knowledge of pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, biophysiology, biochemistry, knowledge of the Krebs cycle, knowledge of this, the internal physiology of respiration, blah, 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 cycle of Willis, fetal circulation, all those things that I knew, they meant nothing. Because I did not stand out into the limelight to shine. No one could see me. All this while, I would be in curtains, putting in cannulas, doing this, dressings, blah, 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 working in the background like Cinderella. So if you want a band 6 post, be heard. When new students come into the ward, be willing to teach them. Be seen teaching. Be seen showing them. Be seen explaining things to them. If you have got knowledge, show off your knowledge. Let them know that you know the mode of action of paracetamol. Explain to them why you cannot give paracetamol together with ibuprofen. Explain to them why you cannot give this and this together, so that they know. If you keep that knowledge to yourself, no one will appreciate it. Nobody. So what are some of the duties of a band 6 post? That's administration, management. Management, like what I said that little girl was doing. Delegating tasks, do this. Following up, has it been done? That's what a band 6 does. Reporting to the band 7, who is the manager, who usually will be in the office. So the band 6 is the one on the floor, providing the direct supervision. The band 7 is very, very rarely provides direct supervision, but the band 6 provides direct supervision on the floor. She also does conflict resolution between staff. And any patients who come in with grievances, any relatives who come in with grievances, she attends to them. So you will see that this has to do with the attitude. You need to have a positive and outgoing personality, where you can talk to people, you can reach to people. You should not be reserved and keeping to yourself, like you're hesitant to talk to people. You don't talk much. You're a woman of few words. You should be like a vibrant, Then you should be a self-starter. Like what I told you, that girl just grab the clipboard and the rotor and start assigning people. Placing herself on the throne, not waiting for anyone to place her. In my culture, we call it kudakuonekwa. That kind. Students come in, be willing to teach them. Take them on. If no one wants to take them, take students on board. Then you have confidence. Have an interactive personality. Try to volunteer for roles. Who's going to do the rota for us? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do the notice board for us? Who's going to do covering the files, the filing of the notes? Volunteer for some of these administrative and clerical roles. Where I work, there's this other lady. She's always printing stuff, putting paperwork, putting notices, following up, changing the order of things, telling people this stays here, this is best if you do it this way, just directing things like a choir master, a chorister. You see, she has got leadership qualities. If there is an opportunity for a band 6, she's one of the very first people who would get it, because she's all over the place. Then you should be able to delegate. be it to support workers. Because if you are a nurse and you cannot tell a support worker to go and bath the patient, the support worker is set and you are taking the basin, you leave what you are doing. Of course, yes, nurses should wash patients, but nurses have got a lot to do. The basic management, supervision, patient care, nursing care plans, medication, handover, feedback, discharges, admissions, all those things that you need to do, of which bathing the patient is the least. If there is someone who can do it, you should let them do that and you focus on other tasks which everyone else cannot do. So if you can leave a medication round and go and wash a patient, while if there is a carer who can do that, that's poor management. Poor management. You'd struggle to land a band 6 role. That's why I'm saying most of us were taught to do hands-on nursing. We work with our hands, not with our mouth. So that is why we struggle to excel. Then, you see, the phone call. We shy away from answering the phone call. I, for one, I would run away if I heard the phone ring, because I could not hear half of what the caller would say. Hello, may I please talk to caller? No. I could not hear anything. And to run away from the embarrassment, I just wouldn't pick the call. Because I could not hear what they were saying. But now I'm a bit confident. I will pick the call. I will take the calls. I will answer. I will try to solve 1 or 2 issues. I'll try to do this. I'm a bit more confident because I've been here for almost 5 years now. I now understand the different British accents. You know, when we did IELTS, the IELTS exam, we had, I think, 3 or 4 different accents which we were tested on. But that's different from what we met on the ground. What is on the ground? You can't hear it. You can't hear. You can't. So the other thing is you should enroll for CPD courses, those continuous e-learning, continuous learning, everything. And there are leadership courses that you're supposed to do online, which you need to do. Enroll in a nursing degree if you've got a diploma. That increases your chances for a band 6 role. Then also enroll for a specialty. There are different courses offered by, is it I heard from Ireland. Then there's Learner, LEARNA, Learner. It has got a lot of clinical courses that you can enroll in to specialize pediatrics and stuff. There are universities which offer 1-year postgraduate diplomas in specialist posts. So you will likely land a band 6 role in specialty. A band 6 post, it's good because it all paves the way for a band 7, band 8. You can't be band 7 without having been a band 6. You can't be a band 8 without being a band 6 or band 7. So it's good for career progression to the top. Then there is a higher salary. Band 6 means higher salary and more respect. And if you're band 6, there is less scrutiny on you. Even if they want to fire you, or even if they want, you are better. There is better job security when you're band 6. And it paves way to better career opportunities. So let's aim to improve. We can't continue to be band 5 in this season. 3 years in the UK and they're still band 5. 5 years in the UK and they're still band 5. No, let's aim to do better. Let's occupy those spaces. Let's occupy. Then, as you know, there's going to be a reshuffle sometime in the future where they're going to lay off some people. So if you're at the bottom of the food chain, you are likely you are easily disposable. That is why most people went to Namibia who did not progress or did not specialize. They were easily sent back. We had a wave of nurses crying foul after being sent back from Namibia. It's because they did not specialize or they did not have critical skills, even from South Africa. So a simple diploma won't cut it. A simple nursing degree with no specialty won't cut it in the future. You need to specialize. You need to specialize. Some nurses who hold critical skills, ICU, midwifery, theatre nursing, occupational health and safety, are still working in South Africa. They are still working in Namibia because they do hold specialties. Even Botswana was recruiting if you've got a post-basic in ICU, midwifery, psychiatry, whatever. Even now, a lot of nurses in the UK are trying to migrate to Australia, Canada, Australia. It becomes easy if you've got a post-basic. It's very, very easy for mental health nurses to move to Australia. Very easy. Some of them even get relocation packages by simply being a mental health nurse. So let's try to excel. Let's try to develop ourselves career-wise. Let's try to aim for the jugular. Let's go for the kill. Let's do it, nurses. Let's advance ourselves. Let's do it. Let's not remain stagnant. As you see, most of our roles, they are being unbundled. Carers are now putting cannulas. Band 4s are now giving oral medication and intramuscular injections. Assistant practitioners are now doing what nurses can do. Even in care homes, senior carers are now giving medication, doing wound dressings. So you'll see there's going to be very little need for band 5 nurses. So it's better you move away from band 5 if you can. And even if you can move to a better country, move. Keep moving, Johnny Walker. Keep moving. Don't stay in one place. Let's aim to develop. And there's one thing that I always joke about. I've been a nurse in the UK. I've been working in theatre. I've been there for over 2 years now. Not even one day that I've put a cannula or even administer an injection. The only thing I do is scrub. And scrub means handing instruments. Knife, little woods, what are some of the names? Makindo scissors, blah, 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 whatever, all those names. Makindo forceps, McDonald's, this, all those things. Then you hand them. Go rounder, this. You give passing instruments. That's all I do. No wound dressing. Of course, we do dress wounds, but it's just sticking a plaster to a suture line. So, no wound dressing, no catheters, no cannulas, no NG tube insertions, nothing clinical. So, I always laugh with my friends in the other nurses group that we have, where we just share our crazy jokes and become our crazy selves. I was like, guys, if we are to go back to Zimbabwe today, which department do you think you'll go and work? You can't work in A&E because you don't know the clinical management. Like you've been working in theatre or in a care home or wherever, you won't manage. You can't work in a rural clinic because you don't know the TB guidelines, the OI guidelines. You no longer know the EPI schedule. You don't know how the malaria guidelines, So I'm always joking and laughing with them and saying that the only place you're going to land is the CSS department, where we'll be making those small cotton wool balls for the sterile tins. Or maybe packing the instruments, because in some of these places where we are working, we are slowly descaling. So please try to get a specialty so that even if you go back to Zimbabwe, you're a specialist diabetic nurse, you're a specialist infection control nurse, you're a specialist wound care nurse, you're a specialist renal nurse, you're a specialist ICU nurse, you're a specialist midwife, you're a specialist mental health nurse. Just go back with the skills. Yeah, I'm not going back to Zimbabwe. You will go back to Zimbabwe. Today, tomorrow, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. One day you will go back. But we don't know when. Some will still go back while they're still on the working age and they may want to work. So let's continuously develop ourselves and improve our skills. Having said this, thank you for watching. Good night.